Doing Midwest things, man.
How was Cali?
It was great. I would have listened to you guys, but that would have been what? 3 o'clock in the morning? No, it was great because obviously the weather was great.
Yeah.
Our hotel was really nice.
Which city? San Diego, L.A.,
we were in Palm Springs.
Oh, never been to Palm Springs.
Yeah, I hadn't either.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of tough to get to. It's inland. Feels more Arizona, like desert, than it does California.
Yeah.
But it was cool. We had like the 9 a.m. kickoff. So it was the old coffee or Bloody Mary and watch the game.
Which did you pick?
Yeah. Let me ask you something.
I did both.
Let me ask you something.
I didn't have to pick.
Let me ask you something. West Coast football is so underrated because you wake up and you have football from 9 to 5.
No, it's awesome. That's what I was saying. That's what I.
And you still have a night without football.
Yeah, we get that sometimes with if it's like an international game or something.
Yeah.
But there's some like noon is fine for games, but there's something about getting like morning football.
Like
you're just waking up and you're still getting together. You're like, oh, okay, here we go.
Yep.
We're rolling into it.
And it's an intense 12 o'clock game. Like, dang, that's right now.
9 a.m. Ohio State, Penn State's kicking off. We're like, okay, everybody get up. But it was cool because we ended up going out.
Yeah.
There was a really nice like pool area. It had a lazy river. Dual water slides.
Oh man, my life is terrible.
And there was a
We're not literal.
you guys, and then the game was on out there at the bar, and there was a bunch of Ohio State fans randomly.
And Palm Springs.
Everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Literally everywhere.
Yep. So I just flew in incognito. I was like, oh, what you guys watching?
Yep.
Dane, let me ask you this:
What's your name?
at a wedding,
Daniel?
is Dane cutting up on the dance floor?
Yeah, I've had to. My wife's a bit of a get out there and dance.
Okay.
So, since I got married more so, I'm like, all right, do the obligation. So I get myself hyped up, and then I just turn off my brain and go. I go over the top. Yeah.
Did a Cupid shuffle happen at this wedding?
No, I think that's phasing out a little bit. I don't know if people are still doing the Cupid shuffle.
Well, here's the one thing I know: the guy has feet and the guy has hips.
Yeah.
He can move around.
I believe it.
I
believe it.
Matty, there was a time not too long ago where I won the Toledo Dancing with the Stars.
Is this real?
This is real.
This is very real.
Is there footage?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there real? Okay.
Oh my
So
gosh.
now we got to dig in on this.
We got to dig.
I'll find it.
I want to go to. Let's go to the end first. What was the song that you danced to that brought it home?
Dirty Dancing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did the lift at the end. That's what brought the house down.
Nice.
Okay. How nervous were you when the lift?
I was a little nervous about all of it.
Yeah.
My partner was like a professional dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we practiced it a lot.
Yeah.
So I had to, and it's harder than it seems. If you
Is this
we had just started dating. She was there.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, it's harder than it looks. Like if you're doing the like lift over your head.
Yeah.
Like you guys got to be on the same page. So it was, but she was tiny. So I mean, it was. Yeah, but.
You got volumes, bro. It's just, like I feel like I'm still getting to know you. 15
I know.
That's
incredible. What year was this?
Like, wait, what?
20. I was done playing 2016.
How many rounds did you have to go to win it all?
No, it's just one. It's a fun.
Oh, it was
event.
one. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know if this was like
so you
that.
retired and did Toledo Dancing with the Stars. Who
Man,
are you?
I'm a grinder, man.
I'm a grinder. Who are you?
Oh my goodness, I
Retired.
love it, man.
Yeah, I've lived a lot of life.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I was not expecting that. I didn't have that on my bingo card for Dane Depot. Is that this man won a Dancing with the Stars event?
So now I do have more confidence going on to wedding dance floors.
Right.
Not that I'm doing that, but I'm just like, yeah. Yeah, you can see a little more confidence in my face.
Oh,
I'm just like, these people don't know.
I've always wanted to do salsa dancing. That's something I wanted to get into.
Yeah.
The salsa class.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's a nice little vibe right there.
It's
you know,
some footwork.
Yeah,
It's all in the footwork.
Well, you
right?
guys got the footwork. You guys could easily do
It's all in
that.
the
You guys could
footwork.
easily do the salsa dancing. Depot, how was your week, man?
It was great, man. Yeah, just it wasn't Cali, but it was wife and kids. It was a lot of screaming, yelling, a lot of radio. You know,
Typical life for Depot, man. Typical life for Depot.
Nothing special.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Did you been getting the clubs out? You had a couple days to where you could have.
Yeah, I got out.
Could have swung it.
I got out this week.
This man's dedicated. Dang.
I am. I mean, and it's just I'm just hitting the ceiling right now, and I know what it is. It's time for some new clubs.
Oh,
And I know that's like the classic line, but it's like I've been for 12 years. I've had rocket blades. I've had blades. I've learned to play with blades to shape shots and do all these things, and it's been hell. But when I go back to a more forgiving club, I know my score should go down. But I'm going to keep a few of those clubs in that bag.
The timing of this is very interesting to me. Are you putting this out in the atmosphere, hoping that one, maybe special lady in your life hears this request for golf clubs?
There's no way.
Or a special gentleman with a white beard.
I was going to say.
Him too?
Yeah, well.
Zoe's watching, DeVier.
She doesn't care, and she's probably rim 3 right now.
Okay.
Yeah. She's like,
out in the clouds. out like a light. Are you, Dane? Have you geared up for Christmas? Yes. Yet. Are you a procrastinator, last-minute shopper? Have we chipped away at that already?
Oh, no.
Are we already starting?
No, that's the first time I've even thought about it or been asked. So I definitely have not started yet. No, DeVier, some people are already in buying gifts mode.
I'm one of those people. I bought gifts already for people.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's thoughtful.
Yeah,
that checks out.
But I don't have a long list of people to buy gifts for. It's
really
I'm just
more Scrooge like as I get older.
Are you?
Yeah, I just
don't. Christmas doesn't do anything for you?
No, I'm never. No.
Oh,
really? Okay. So is Thanksgiving rank higher for you than Christmas?
No.
You're just out on holidays in general.
I hate.
That's sad.
I don't. Well, it's not sad. Don't get me wrong.
You're making people sad.
That's sad.
No, I love family time. I love it.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't. It's just every year the bill gets longer, and so it's like you'll see. Oh yeah.
Oh,
one kid name. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, good luck.
Okay, I understand now where we're at with this.
Yeah, I can see that. If we're talking financially.
Yeah, okay, I completely understand.
It's just I don't look forward to. Okay, I need to go spend this amount of money on this set date, and it's just like. This has nothing to do with the birth of Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
And then birthdays in between and all of that stuff. I get it. I love Christmas. My Christmas tree is now up. Like, as soon as we get done with Halloween, it's Christmas time for
me.
We,
my wife's that way.
Yeah.
Our decorations, I got home yesterday, and there's, like, the garlands under the TV.
Yeah, it's time.
Nice.
Yeah. It's time to lock in.
It's time.
I'm okay
Actually,
with
that's what they're doing today. Well, I don't know how much my 2-year-old's going to help, but during the game, that's what they're doing while I'm asleep.
That's nice.
Yeah, Santa and his elves have reported for training camp, so they're getting ready, man. They're getting ready for Christmas.
Santa and elves?
They reported for training camp.
No contract holdouts?
No, none of that. No. Everybody's ready. The reindeer, the elves, everybody's locked in. The cookie makers, everybody's ready to go. We're locked in. Jake, thanks for joining us bright and early, or dark and early, as we like to call it. When we come back, we will go back to last week. Big dub on the road for the Buckeyes over in Happy Valley. We'll get the guys' reaction to that after this. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
We're off to a good start so far this morning. Just took a look at all of the traffic cameras. The stretch of 315 from Ackerman to Goodale is moving with just light to moderate volumes. Looking at the surface streets, same story. Olentangy River Road has light to moderate volumes as you cruise by campus. Same story on Lane Avenue. Don't forget the Cannon Drive construction project is ongoing. In order to get on Cannon by the stadium, you need a West Stadium parking pass. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices like America's best-selling car, Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through December 2nd, you can lease a Camry LE from just $269 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hear those leaves crunching under your feet? Feel that cool nighttime air? It's definitely fall in Ohio. Fall is the perfect time to have the Waterworks inspect and tune up your furnace before the cold winter months hit. To inspect and protect your family against those wintertime furnace breakdowns, call 614-232-2222. Or visit thewaterworks.com today to schedule your fall furnace inspection and tune-up. Winter is just days away.
Gambling too much? Or just can't seem to cut your losses? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, pub and gambling counselor at Maryhaven. Whether it's you or someone you love, we're here to help you control gambling before it controls you. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven is there for you no matter what. And that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Confidential and judgment-free, go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Reichert Chevy's dealing in Dublin. That means we got the car you need at the price you want. But don't take it from me. Hear it from
Ohio State captain Travion Henderson.
Reichert has what I'm looking for.
Jack Sawyer.
Grew up watching these guys on TV. My family's bought tons of cars for them.
Cody Simon.
You get the right car at Reichert.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
Shop hundreds of vehicles at ReichertChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
We're dealing. Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. Join us for a special First Friday live broadcast in High Bank Distillery in Grandview. It's Wednesday, November 13th, 9 to noon. Check out our exclusive fan barrel picks and enjoy High Bank's famous chicken and biscuits from High Bank Distillery and the Fan.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The OSU Army ROTC has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
You want a sub freshly sliced to order? You go to Jersey Mike's. You want the perfect radio idea? You go to me. Like this. I'm a lone ninja warrior. By night, I glide unseen across the rooftops, watching my enemies from the shadows. By day, I go to Jersey Mike's, watching someone freshly slice my sub. My blade is called Shadow. His blade is a Berserker brand meat slicer. Clearly, I have much to learn about this land. Freshly sliced just for you. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Get everything for your next project today at Menards and save big money. Right now, all stock outlets with USB charging ports are on sale. Ditch the need for bulky USB adapters. Upgrade your home with features like ultra-fast charging, allowing you to charge your smart devices up to 40% faster than standard USB outlets. View our weekly flyer on Menards.com and check out all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited Truck Month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
How do you know it's Buckeye game day? Because I've ripped my shirt off in celebration. Do you like the Brutus tattoo on my chest? This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Welcome back in. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. I'm Matty Ice, DeVier, Posey, Dane, Sanzenbacher rocking out with me and you, getting you ready for Ohio State and Purdue high noon at the Shoe. Getting down to the nitty-gritty, fellas. Let's go back to last week. You know, there's always a few games on the calendar you look at each year. You say, okay, you know what? To a certain degree, those are the measuring stick games, right? You had Oregon. You had Penn State. You'll have Michigan. And there's going to be more games coming at us down the road. But Penn State, that's a program that, to say the least, has had their struggles with the Scarlet and Gray over the last few years. But from Ohio State's perspective, this was one of those boxes you wanted to check because you went out to Eugene. You lost a close one. We broke that down backwards and forwards. We don't need to go back to that. But this was, I think, a good mental challenge for Ohio State, right? Going over there and just dealing with somebody that had caught momentum, had played good football. There was a debate going into this game, right, whether or not they were really the third-ranked team in the country and all of that. But we know they got talent over there. And so Ohio State, they go into Happy Valley. They don't have to deal with the whiteout at night, but they get challenged, right? They get challenged in this game, but at the end of the day, the clock hits triple zeros, and they come home with a dub. Dana, I want to get, maybe a takeaway or two for you.
Yeah, I think putting themselves in that environment and then going down 10-0 early was probably good for them. I think the coaches have kind of said that. I mean, that's something we hadn't seen, and being able to fight back. Like I think everybody watching, and I was just like, okay.
In the lazy river.
When I could watch, like when the lap came around that I could see the TV, I was like, oh,
we're losing.
10
Margarita.
Oh, my umbrella just fell out of this drink. I'll be back. Hope they get it together.
Sir, do you have a tab open? Yes. All
right, go Bucks, guys. Yeah. So, but I think that was it was cool to see him kind of fight back from that. I mean, wasn't a perfect game. I think biggest takeaway is that you found something with the offensive line. I think they played well enough to get the monkey off their back to have us kind of stop talking about it. And roll with some confidence now, feeling like, okay, we've got something. We've performed on the biggest stage. That last drive that's huge. I mean, it's like those are tough ones. Those are tight ones. You got to win. I mean, you're a couple plays away that we're talking about this in a completely different light, and that's how some of these big games are going to go. Same thing with the Oregon game. A couple plays one way or the other, we could be 2-0, 0-2 in these games. I mean, so... you caught the breaks, you made the plays you had to, and now you've been in that situation again, but now won it. That's just great experience to have, because it's only going to get tougher as you go on and into the playoff.
Depot, for you, man, what'd you think of the game?
The best part about the game to me was that goal line stand for the defense. Absolutely. Just being able to go up against an offense that's been seemingly productive, one of the top 5 offenses in the country. Drew Aller, great quarterback. For our defense to put up a shutout in the second half, I just thought it's like, wow, like you guys are going to run Nick Singleton down the teeth of the defense twice. And then you really dig into that, and you're like, oh, that was Edric Houston, sophomore from Beaufort, Georgia, really jumped out there and had to step in for Talik Williams. Like, oh, and then you hear interviews from Dane, you're like, oh, well, we might have something with this guy, right? And so, those are the starts of great careers, right? And then you even go to Carson Hinsman on the other side of the offense, right? We needed somebody to step in. He's kind of had adversity. He steps in and has a great game. That might be the start for Edric Houston and Carson Hinsman of the career. Having big plays gives you confidence moving forward, especially in big games. And then when you talk about just the rhetoric of the season, and you can even go as far as, hey, was this the most important game for this era of Ohio State football, for the coaches in this building, for the players in this building, the seniors that returned, the guys who have pro potential, and you can argue and say absolutely it was. This game could have gone, the season could have gone one or two ways, administratively and football wise, right? So the fact that we got it done, and in that fashion and the way we got it done, it was a big win. And then even on top of that, okay, can this offense figure out how to win if you take away 4? Yes, you can. Absolutely you can. And I thought that just the way that Will put it together, he showed he's undeniably the leader of this team. And I was pretty happy, man.
Game day coverage is sponsored by Riker Chevrolet on the Fan Ohio Sports Destination. You guys brought up some good stuff right there. And you brought up Carson Hinsman. You brought up Edric Houston, what he was able to do on the D-line. I think a couple other names we should highlight that made an impact was you had Jelani Thurman in that game, catch that big 4th down, right?
That bar
caught it about 2 or 3 times, but he caught it there. And then, a guy that, in a position you guys know very well, and Brandon Ennis catches that crosser and takes it to the house. So it was one of those games, right, where you went on the road and you had a couple names pop up that haven't been, major contributors throughout the year as far as statistics go, but found a way to stay ready and stay locked in. The offensive line thing is massive, right? Because when you lose Josh Simmons and how important he was, and you guys know better than I do, just the importance of the trenches and what it means for you guys, and you're having the ability to get open downfield and needing that time to do so. But Dane, you brought up, the game-winning drive, right? I mean, you're talking about getting the rock back with a little over 5 minutes to go, and being able to impose your will on a defense, I think is just absolutely great to see, is that offensive line with Will and the running backs go 10, 11 plays down the field and ice the game and grab a dub.
And I wanted to comment on that because, Dan, you remember the drive we had in Iowa, right, when we went down, Devin hit the field goal, Devin Barclay. When you execute drives like that, just like pure execution. Now, it could be 4 minute or 2 minute. To me, 4 minute is the exact opposite of 2 minute. It's like every principle is different. You stay in bounds, you run the clock, you're taking your time versus hurrying up. You're doing plays to where you're trying to get a first down, but you're not trying to, like, gash them, right? And so to be able to execute opposite of 2 minute gives me confidence for 2 minute, right? Like, if you can do the opposite. And the last time out, these guys, I just thought, like, the last time they touched the field, everybody was locked in, everybody executed at a high level. It's almost like the next time you touch the field, that's the standard. That's the standard. And I brought up that Iowa game because I vividly remember, like, Dane has intense eyes. I'm looking at Dane. I'm like, let's go get it. Let's go get this crap. You know, I didn't say crap. I said game time words. But it was like
crap wouldn't have done it. Like, I would have lost that fire in my eyes. Like, what did he just say?
That's it. I said game time words.
Like, you're a loser.
Yeah. But like, when you execute, and Dana attests to this, like, it gives you so much more confidence the next time out. Like, yeah, man, we can do this. We've already done this as a group.
It's what you guys were telling me about coming out of the Oregon game. You guys brought up a great point just about handling the noise, right? When they were trying to march their way down the field in that atmosphere. At Eugene, you guys were like, you can crank the speakers up all you want. At the Woody, it's something about actually doing it and knowing that you can do it and be able to recall that muscle memory and mentally being able to lock in.
Yeah, it's similar. So they are your 2 minute, your 4 minute, are opposite sides of the same coin. Yeah. Because really the name of the game there, and we talked about it before, is not making mistakes and executing. It's not even so much about the time. It's that if you do this right, you just can't afford mistakes. Like in that drive, if you've got a big penalty, because we saw it at the end of the Oregon game. You get penalty, sacks, things that that go wrong. Yeah. That's what kills it more than the time does. Almost always. I mean, I think I saw a stat once that the last play of the game rarely gets to like time ends it. A mistake gets made, a pick gets thrown. You're trying to force something. Like it almost never is the clock that's ending.
It's almost an error or a penalty,
right? Because the clock is forcing the action. So, yeah, I think you saw that Ohio State team kind of find something in a way that is subtle, but they're like, okay, they didn't make mistakes. Yeah, we ran the ball, pushed it down the field.
Interesting stat, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff.
I might have made it up, but it was interesting.
It sounded
stuff,
great. Keep saying it.
Yeah.
Well, that most games end in penalties and are like
it ends in like a turnover, like that final play never even gets made. Yeah.
Wow, it's good stuff.
A runoff.
Dane dropping knowledge, man. Dane dropping knowledge. Let's go get this crap. Coming up next in our What They're Saying segment, you will hear from Coach Dane. We'll continue to get you ready for Purdue and Ohio State. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Highways and side streets looking good right now. Light to moderate volumes out there as we get up and get going on this game day morning. Checking out the Lane Avenue stretch between High and Olentangy River Road. It's starting to get a little bit busier, but still moving. Olentangy River Road also looking good right now between Kinnear and Ackerman. Checking on your parking situation, the Union North and South and ARPS garages still have spots available. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
We're celebrating Happy Honda Days at Honda Marysville, so WTFE. We're trading for everything. Cars, motorcycles, scooters, even jet skis. Trade and use a tax credit to take advantage of huge savings on any new Honda.
Get 0% for 60 months on new 24 and 25 Honda trucks, SUVs, and minivans. Like 0% on 25 CRVs, HRVs, and pilots.
Honda Marysville, where WTFE. We're trading for everything, and Happy Honda Days are closer than you think.
0 for 60 with approved credit. Must finance 80% of MSRP. Not valid with other offers or on previous sales. Expires 11/30/24.
If your air conditioning or furnace stops working in the middle of the night, on a weekend, or over a holiday, there's no reason to wait to get it fixed. For 100 years, Atlas Butler has been here for your family. We're always open, we work on all furnace and air conditioner brands, and it's easy and convenient to request service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
At KeyBank, we know a small moment like,
what's it like to have a yard?
Can lead to an even bigger question like,
am I ready to buy a home?
And that's the type of moment where we'll meet you, prepared to talk about everything you need to know when applying for a mortgage, so you can try to turn those backyard dreams into reality. Paul?
Yes?
Question. Are you a hammock person?
You know, I think I might be.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. NMLS 399797, Equal Housing Lender.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices like the best-selling RAV4. Now through December 2nd, get 4.99 APR financing on a new 24 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Or lease a gas-powered RAV4 LE for $309 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Did you know we have another station? More Buckeyes, more play-by-play, more everything.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2 or listen on the Fan app.
Your home for almost too much football. The Fan.
Bobcat Enterprises is your family-owned partner for landscaping and construction projects. Bobcat Enterprises sells and services a full line of Bobcat equipment, including compact track loaders, excavators, tractors, and more. Plus, Bobcat rents compact equipment and attachments. With Bobcat, you can rent the machine and own the results. Keep your business local. Stop by Bobcat Enterprises in Hilliard, Reynoldsburg, or Zanesville, and find current specials and our full line of products by visiting bobcatent.com today.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The OSU Army ROTC has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
When the leaves fall, so do the prices at Valley. Right now, choose from over 1,000 available new Fords. Take your pick from over 70 2024 Ford Broncos at up to $14,000 off. Lease a new Escape Active, just $289 a month for 36 months. Drive away a new Bronco Sport, over 80 to choose from, starting at only $26,990. Get to Valley Ford of Columbus today, the official dealership of Carnell Tate.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus, The Fan. This is The Fan's Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells. We've got another great day of college football on tap as we enter the stretch run of the season. Let's set the table for today's slate. We know that it'll all get started with second-ranked Ohio State at home for a matchup against Purdue. The Buckeyes and Boilermakers will kick off at 12 noon today at Ohio Stadium. Also at noon today, number 4 Miami is at Georgia Tech, and Florida visits number 5 Texas. As we sort through the rest of the top 10 teams here at 3:30, number 3 Georgia is at number 16 Ole Miss. Also, Michigan plays at number 8 Indiana. In the primetime window tonight, we've got Maryland at top-ranked Oregon. Mississippi State is at number 7 Tennessee. Florida State visits number 10 Notre Dame in South Bend. And Washington will face number 6 Penn State in Happy Valley. Lastly, at 10:15 tonight, it's the Holy Wars. Number 9 BYU is at Utah. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus, your connection for the best selection of Ford Broncos and Bronco sports. Breaking sports news when it happens right here on The Fan.
You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Getting you ready for another Buckeye victory. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. It's time to find out what they're saying.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Matty, DeVier, Posey, Dane, Sanzenbacher. Fella, let's get right to it. We're not messing around. Let's hear from the head honcho. Here he is. Talking about Will Howard, you guys brought up the early pick in the game, went right back to the house, unfortunately, for the Buckeyes. Penn State getting points up on the board. Here's Coach Day talking about Will Howard's ability to bounce back.
He definitely does. He's got a knack for that. And I we talk a lot about, there's a fine line of like, you make a mistake and it's like, just move on to the next thing. Oh, hold on. We just, have a major problem here. So there's that fine line there. And so what we try to do in practice, and I try to do, is whether it's a quarterback, the kicker, the left guard, or, the corner, is, make it hard for them in practice. When they do make a mistake, just, get all over them so that they feel what that's going to be like in a game. And then you watch to see how they respond. If that play bogs them down for the rest of practice, then we got some growing up to do here. And so we try to do that in practice, but Will's not somebody who's been in the program for a long time, so I can't sit here and say that any of the coaching staff has any credit for that. This is something that Will's had, and whether he earned that or learned about this when he was in high school or gained it from being at Kansas State, you'd have to ask him, but that's something that we all try to do, and again, whether it's a corner getting beaten a goal wall, you got to, like Davis, and the way he came back after getting that, that completion on him, and they did call the hold on him to come back and make that play. Like, that's what you have to do in these types of games. And I will say that I do feel right now in the middle of the season, probably more than in years past, that we've been tested more. Our players have been tested more. The team's been tested more, so that we're a little bit more resilient than maybe in the past. And we played against, teams or had games where we found ourselves in, games that were a little bit lopsided, and you don't really get tested. You don't really get put into some of those tough situations. So, we're counting on that to be a difference.
I think about the conversations we were having prior to the year, and part of it, specifically when it came to Will, was this dude's been around for a minute. He's been around for a minute. He's seen a lot of things, and to me, I think that's where you can have that bounce back ability, right? Is knowing that, I can throw a pick here, I've thrown picks there, and I've seen myself, or I've felt myself crawl out of certain holes. So talk about that, and just the importance of you guys being in the huddle with a quarterback and looking in his eyes and knowing or seeing the belief in him when he struggled a little bit, and knowing that, just because I goofed up, I can still get it done.
Yeah, I think Coach Day was dead on with there's a fine line between like how you handle these things. Like there's the guys that just keep on throwing picks and be like, yeah, I'm good, guys, I'm good.
No, this is a problem here. Wait, hold on, rewind that.
Yeah, and then the line other side, we're like, hold on now, no, we actually have to discuss this. Yeah, I think Will's at a point. You're getting to see this too, and I think we're at like a golden age of veteran veteran quarterbacks in the NCAA. I mean, so many of these guys have been playing for so many years that you get to a point where like they've seen a lot. You've thrown picks in your career. You've been in situations.
Yeah.
That's the kind of reaction that you want, because for a Will Howard or for a guy that's at this point in his career, there's not that much of the fear that like, oh, he doesn't understand that this was an issue. Mm-hmm. He doesn't understand what the problem is. So I think it's a much better trait for that kind of guy to have.
Yeah.
Now, if he was a freshman, you'd say like, all right, little bit less of that moving on quick. Let's like address this.
Yeah.
But at this point, for this quarterback and this team, I think it's a great trait.
Yeah, that's a good point you brought up, Dane, there, because if you guys think about it, like it's the 2024 draft. What was 4 years ago? COVID. Mm-hmm. What was granted? Super seniors happened. Mm-hmm. This is going to be the oldest NFL draft in terms of players' ages going into the draft, right? Like, and there are a lot of guys like Dylan Gabriel, Will Howard, just not at the quarterback position, but at all positions, to where, like, if I'm thinking if my son's a underclassman, it's like, hey, bro, like, let's probably sit back a year, right? Like, how about you be one of those older guys going in the draft? But that is a good point you brought up. And then the one thing about Will Howard, too, and I can't say this enough, and I can't say this loud enough. If any Buckeye fan is listening, he's the leader of this team. He's the only person that has a championship ring on that sideline. I'm going to say it again. He's the only person that has a championship ring. Yeah. He's a winner. And when you have someone like that, I feel like I trust winners. Like winning is a stat for me that I count. Like I just count it as a stat for a quarterback. And when you talk about getting into these games and these situations to where resiliency and having to go against it, I was in my house on my couch watching TCU versus Kansas State go into an overtime game 2 years ago, and it was a quarterback, Will Howard versus Max Duggan, and I'm like, this number 15 guy is throwing dimes to the running back, Deuce. What is his name?
Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn. I'm watching this game, and I'm like, wow, they're really going to beat TCU. And TCU is going to the playoffs in a week. And so this guy has been there before, and we can't continue as Buckeye fans to, like, question his ability. Like, he should be trusted at this point in the season. And as we get into these situations, like, I feel like my confidence is going to lean on him versus the guys that have been here. And I know that sounds crazy.
No, because that's exactly where I was going to go next. And I wanted to ask you your trust, because now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here, and he's answered the call a couple times. I mean, we're talking about what if he slides, 2 seconds earlier at Oregon. Who knows what the game
they should have
looks
reviewed
like, right?
that and got everybody off the field.
Exactly, all those type of things. But Dane, your belief in Will to now lead the charge in game-winning situations, or maybe in a game against, maybe Georgia or Oregon again, in the Big Ten championship. Where are you at with your belief in not just him, but this offense now moving forward in those critical situations?
Yeah, I think Penn State, how they ended that game and how he played and kind of bounced back from, a couple big mistakes, that helped. I mean, I think there was legit questions in the Oregon game, just how that final drive was handled. Now, granted, you don't want to put yourself in that situation, but to me, I wanted to see the quarterback be the most calm guy in the field, and I didn't see it from him in that game. Now, that's about as intense as it will get for them. And being on the road, being expected to drive the whole field in a 2-minute offense, but the number one team in the country. But it's like that's what – so I think, like, Buckeye fans out there, there was fine reason and legit reason to say, like, okay, is this team and is Will set up for this? Now, regardless, this is our guy. This year. I think it was great, though, to be able to see Penn State happen, because I do think you saw, like, and you're just going to get that. I think we kind of took for granted that, when you're getting Will Howard, we didn't know much about him. He comes in, and his resume, you're thinking, like, okay, we're going to get a steady Eddie quarterback. We ride some roller coasters with Will, and I don't think that's, like, what people were expecting to get from him. You're going to get the pick, but then you're going to get, fourth down, scramble, make a play, Will. So that's just something you're going to have to.
Fumble at the goal line.
Then you're going to get a fumble at the goal line, Will.
I was in shock.
So I mean, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
So it's
my gosh.
yeah, you're going to have those, like, okay, who are we putting our trust in? But the more you see, games finish the way Penn State did, they're never going to be perfect, and that one was far from perfect. But finish that way, he is still. That leader, and even though that last drive is you're just running the ball, that takes orchestration. That takes somebody in there, like, okay, here's what we're doing, and somebody needs to be in that huddle. And so, yeah, I think you look at him after that one, and you're feeling pretty good rolling with the rest of the season.
The Fan Pregame Show is presented by KeyBank. For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. When we come back, it is one tough animal time. A guy, team, coach, anybody around college football that we want to shine a light on that balled out last week. We will get to that next. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Things are looking really good on the road so far. Highways and side streets both. 315, both north and southbound between Ackerman and 670. Moving along with just light to, in some spots, moderate volumes. Kenny Road, no problems there between Olentangy and Ackerman. And High Street is looking great with just a little bit of added volume right now. If you're looking for a parking spot, we still have some spaces available in the Neal Avenue Garage and the Ag Admin lots. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
When the leaves fall, so do the prices at Valley. Right now, choose from over 1,000 available new Fords. Take your pick from over 70 2024 Ford Broncos at up to $14,000 off. Lease a new Escape Active, just $289 a month for 36 months. Drive away a new Bronco Sport, over 80 to choose from, starting at only $26,990. Get to Valley Ford of Columbus today, the official dealership of Carnell Tate.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's
always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
Full inventory sale at Logan Services. Save up to $2,500 and 0% APR financing for 72 months on a qualifying train system. Plus, your choice of one air quality freebie. It's hard to stop a train with a system for every home and budget. Now, for a limited time, save up to $1,000 on a water heater and water conditioning combo. Ask us about tax credits when you book your free estimate now. Logan Services.
Reichert Chevy's dealing in Dublin. That means we got the car you need at the price you want. But don't take it from me. Hear it from
Ohio State captain Travion Henderson.
Reichert has what I'm looking for.
Jack Sawyer.
Grew up watching these guys on TV. My family's bought tons of cars for them.
Cody Simon.
You get the right car at Reichert. With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
Shop hundreds of vehicles at ReichertChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. We're dealing.
Join Skip Mossick, Paul Keels, and Jim Lachey for 2 whole hours of Scarlet and Gray goodness.
Thank you, football guy.
Buckeye Roundtable, Monday night at 6.
Presented by Burger King.
Your flagship home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan.
Hi, I'm Laura De Leon, president of Key Bank in Central Ohio. Here at Key, we believe in providing a helping hand in our community. While helping hands are wonderful, a helping bank is even better. That's a bank committed to solving people's financial needs, but it doesn't stop there. We advocate, we support, we listen, and we volunteer. That's a bank that is always ready to meet you in the moment. Key Bank opens doors.
Key Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Growing up in the family business, I've seen firsthand the joy and love that comes with finding the perfect engagement ring. For over 77 years, our family's been dedicated to providing the best quality, unmatched selection, and the guaranteed best price. From timeless classics to custom designs, we have the perfect ring for every love story. Let our family help you celebrate the moments that mean the most. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
1 in 3 student athletes gets disturbing messages from sports bettors. This threatens the safety and mental health of college athletes like Tyler.
I'm a student and an athlete. I don't deserve to be threatened over my play. If you're upset about your sports bet, don't take it out on me, because I'm more than a bet.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Why choose the Hinderer Motor Company? We don't just sell vehicles, we build relationships. This is Justin Hinderer. With 4 top-tier dealerships and a state-of-the-art collision center, we're here for you every step of the way. From our exclusive Carvenience service that handles everything from pickup to delivery to our 24/7 towing and roadside assistance, we make your life easier. And every vehicle purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty because we believe in what we sell. Experience the difference and visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. Look for a cool start as we head into your Saturday. Temperatures begin the day in the upper 30s, but we'll warm to around low 60s by the afternoon. Cloud cover increases throughout the afternoon before we see rain come in by Sunday. Showers expected all day long Sunday, so don't expect to get much outdoor activity in. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Got your game face on? I mean, have you actually painted your face? Good job, buddy. It's game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Reichert Chevy.
The Fan. This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your flagship home for Buckeye football, The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The Fan's one tough animal.
All right, let's get after it, fellas. Welcome back in. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. I'm Matty Ice, DeVier, Posey, Dane, Sanzenbacher, a couple former Buckeye wide receivers in the house with me today, per usual, getting you ready for Ohio State and Purdue. Before we take our focus back to the old Scarlet and Gray, Let's go around the nation.
Yes.
Let's talk about some guys that have been balling out or balled out last week. Who wants to lead it off this week?
I'll go because you had a perfect segue. You're talking about go around the nation. How about we go around North America? You think the most famous Canadian right now is Drake? You're wrong. Oh, Canada. Curtis Rourke, a Canadian.
Dane's guy.
Dane's guy. Go Hoosiers. He's a 6'5", 225 quarterback from Indiana. 47-10, 19 for 29 last week. 4 touchdowns, season high. 4 touchdowns. And they get the dub on the road to continue this hot streak. Honestly, there's no game more this year that I'm looking forward to. I told my wife I was going to sit in the stands by myself without a drink, sober, to watch this Indiana game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great football game, but I got to give it to Curtis Rourke. He's my one tough man.
He's been on one. He's been absolutely on one. Dane, this is your guy.
I can't argue it.
Listen, Dane's resistance to this, listeners, has made this worse. Like, he's going against these Hoosiers, and he's made it worse.
I'm not going against them. I'm not going against
He just doesn't believe.
There's deeper layers. I just need to. Today will be a big one for him. Hosting Michigan.
This is huge.
It's another step in me being a believer today.
Dane, they win this game.
10 games for you to
They're
believe.
probably going to the playoff.
Yeah,
That's crazy. The bar is so high for them.
So
He set the
crazy.
bar.
You got to be
so
10-0
high.
for me to believe in you.
Dane, have you wrapped your mind around the clock hits triple zeros today?
Mm-hmm.
They're probably going to the playoff.
Oh, yeah.
Because they will have probably one good loss on their resume.
They can drop a loss to
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Went out, and they're probably getting in.
No, they are. It's another good part of this, and I explained this to my wife, who is #1 Hoosier fan. It was like, this is, Indiana, you can get kind of upset with where you're ranked or like getting lack of respect from people like me because you haven't done enough when you've done everything you have and won in spectacular fashion. You even have a close game yet.
You're a pundit now, Dane.
Right. Oh, yeah. I'm just, it's a bit, you know.
You're a pundit. You're a hard pundit.
But what I'm saying is, like, this is what's built in college football is not perfect, right? But this is the only year that a one-loss Indiana team could have a shot at a national championship because they can lose to Ohio State, they could win out, and they get into the playoff, and once you're in the playoff, you're in. You win out, you're national champ. So, you've been given an opportunity that, it matters where you start the season, but this is the first year that it's like you completely control your own destiny, and you can lose one.
Quick question. Is it an all-time low for Michigan to lose to Indiana today? Or is it a respectable loss? Because this is a historically good Indiana team.
Yeah, it's a respectable.
It's a respectable loss.
Yeah, this one wouldn't be all time.
Okay.
Because this Indiana
like a
team
bad Indiana team beating a decent Michigan team.
I think the team matters, and this is what appears to be a very, very good.
This is historically the best Indiana team ever. Dave.
Anyway, this is an Ohio State show, and we're going to move on to my tough animals.
All right, real quick, I do want to say this because you guys talked about Indiana, Michigan. This is the first time between these two teams where they've played where Indiana has been ranked and Michigan has not.
Wow.
So just years and years of this matchup, and now IU's coming into this thing with
hundreds of years.
And they've never been on the other
Pretty
side.
sure it's happened in basketball a couple times.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so.
It's never in football.
There's your IU Robitussin for today. We can move on.
Like I need him.
We can move on now to your one tough animal. Who you got, man?
I'm taking my tough animal down to Miami.
The 305.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've got something down there. And that man, Cam Ward, he's one of those players, the quarterback for Miami, who, there's some guys you just like how they play and you enjoy watching it. It's not even that, like, the stats, which obviously are good.
He's so cool.
Yeah. It just looks, and I saw this when they went out and played, was it Cal?
Yes.
Yeah, they went out and won in Cal. Just like the pocket presence of never feeling rushed, and I'll just kind of bounce around here. Whoop. What do we got here? Just like he's chilling, and then just make a play.
Let me ask you, do you feel like sometimes that he's a dual threat quarterback? But no, he's a for real pocket passer with like a crazy I think his overall, overarching, number one skill when they turn on the film is, bro, his pocket awareness is God-given.
Yeah, it's
it's crazy.
He's evaluating two things at once. He's looking downfield and he's sitting in the pocket with all this feel of don't go here, step up, step back. And it honestly, it looks like how I'm talking, like that casual. It looks like, here he comes.
Yep.
See,
okay,
what do we got down here? What do we got? Like he's in a turkey bowl game or something.
He plays at a different pace.
So he was what? He had 400 yards and 5 touchdowns versus Duke. They won 53-31. They keep rolling. I think they're 9-0. I mean, that's a story down there.
No doubt about it, man. There's a basketball player by the name of Kyle Anderson. His nickname is Slow-Mo.
Yeah, Kyle Anderson.
And I think you can apply some of that to Cam Ward, too, because I love that you brought up his pace and how he just...
I don't like the Kyle Anderson, Cam Ward comparison.
Maybe not apples to apples, but I'm just saying as far as him chilling, right, and playing at his own pace.
Dang, man, you can't let him have his comparison.
Sorry, Deepa, every once in a while, you got to get bodied. It's okay. I'll take the L on that one. It's all good.
Betty Ice, I can't let you do that.
Oh, I was just saying, there's a little slow-mo to his game, man. That's all. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, he does play.
He's like more Ja Morant.
Really? He's not that explosive. Ja is up and down.
Miami's offense isn't explosive.
I'm talking about Cam Ward.
I mean, that's all Lamar Jackson. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he bodied me right there.
I didn't like it. I saw where you were going, and I liked the slowest,
I liked it too.
Comparison.
You guys are ganging up on me.
I liked it.
I just thought you should have let the man finish.
Dane, you took me right where I wanted to go, because I want to talk about his teammate.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about number 7 for the Miami Hurricanes. His name is Xavier Restrepo. Xavier Restrepo in the game you highlighted last week against Duke, 8 catches, $146, 3 touchdowns. Last year, this man finished second in the ACC in receiving yards with 1,092 yards. This year, he's currently ranked first in the ACC with 856. After last week's performance against Duke, he tied Mike Harley's Miami career reception record.
Wow.
He broke Santana Moss's career receiving yards record last week. So you can look at him and say he is the best receiver to ever come through the Miami program, which is wild.
Just drop some of those names.
I mean, Michael Irvin and Santana Moss,
Reggie Wayne, Andre Johnson.
It's crazy that this guy and you see him, and you mentioned
Benjamin,
Andre Johnson. He's not built like
Leonard
that.
Hankerson.
This guy is just an absolute machine. He's been highly productive for years.
Devin Hester.
Yeah,
and he's the number one wide receiver.
He's the guy. He's absolutely the guy. So he's
such a good player.
So impressive, man. Every single week this is 2 years in a row now where he's just been shredding defenses, and I can't wait to see what his draft stock looks like when we get to that conversation. But I think he could be an impactful player in the NFL. I really believe that, because he seems to always know where to be. His route running seemed to be pretty good. You guys could tell me more about that, whatever you think about his game, but it looks like he's got it all.
He's like a reliable, Lad McConkey. What was my guy from Clemson?
Hunter Renfrow. But he's he's like a Dane Sanzenbacher.
You're just naming white guys. You sound just like the NFL scouts. They just got a stock, reliable. He could drop 85 passes. You're like, reliable, heady.
He's heady, he's smart.
Runs good routes. You can't even watch the man. You just saw he's a white guy. All right, move on.
Shout out to Xavier Restrepo. That was the whole point of all of this. Hey, and real quick, my last one, tough animal. Shout out to my high school, Pickerington North. The football program got it done yesterday. We took care of our cross-channel rivals in Pick Central and beat them for a second time in the season. Coming up next, we'll talk to the man that sits on the Iron Throne at 10 TV. His name is Adam King. That will be right around the corner. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Just took a look at the ODOT traffic cameras, and they're showing light to moderate volumes and things moving really well, specifically on 315 between Ackerman and 670. Off on those side streets, it's pretty much the same story. Things are building up a little bit on Lane Avenue between High and Olentangy. Olentangy River Road is picking up just a bit of volume between Ackerman and Lane. If you're looking for parking, there are still spots available in the Union North and South garages garages, also the ARPS and Neal Avenue garages. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited Truck Month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Hear those leaves crunching under your feet? Feel that cool nighttime air? It's definitely fall in Ohio. Fall is the perfect time to have the Waterworks inspect and tune up your furnace before the cold winter months hit. To inspect and protect your family against those wintertime furnace breakdowns, call 614-232-2222. Or visit thewaterworks.com today to schedule your fall furnace inspection and tune-up. Winter is just days away.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The OSU Army ROTC has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
Legacy. You build something worth having. Someone's going to try and take it. What I'm doing isn't for the ranch. It's for us. I spent my whole life here. Me too.
You destroy me, you destroy yourself.
Unlike you, I keep my promises.
Don't miss the epic return of Yellowstone, premiering tomorrow at 8, only on Paramount Network.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Head to Menards right now to save big money on your next lighting project. Check out our great selection of Lutron lighting controls. LED Plus dimmer switches are designed to match your existing switches and are easy to install. Create the perfect lighting for your home. Save big money right now on Lutron lighting controls in store. And view all of our great deals happening this week on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free. No limit. Plus 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years. And they back it up with a true lifetime warranty. Call them today, 614-502-5220.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
We're celebrating Happy Honda Days at Honda Marysville, so WTFE. We're trading for everything. Cars, motorcycles, scooters, even jet skis. Trade and use a tax credit to take advantage of huge savings on any new Honda.
Get 0% for 60 months on new 24 and 25 Honda trucks, SUVs, and minivans. Like 0% on 25 CRVs, HRVs, and pilots.
Honda Marysville, where WTFE. We're trading for everything, and Happy Honda Days are closer than you think.
0 for 60 with approved credit. Must finance 80% of MSRP. Not valid with other offers or on previous sales. Expires 11/30/24.
This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells. We'll start with some scores from last night in the NBA. The Cavaliers improved to 10-0 on the season as they hammered Golden State 136-117. All 5 Cleveland starters scored in double digits as they were led by Darius Garland's 27-point night. The Cavs will play a back-to-back tonight as they host the Nets at 7:30. In college football, UCLA rallied out of an early 10-0 hole as they beat Iowa 20-17 in Pasadena. As we turn the page to today, we've we've got number 2 Ohio State at home to host Purdue. It's a noon kickoff today at Ohio Stadium between the Buckeyes and Boilermakers. And we've got a pair of ranked matchups today with both games residing in the SEC. At 3:30, number 3 Georgia is on the road against number 16 Ole Miss. And at 7:30 tonight, number 11 Alabama takes on number 15 LSU in Baton Rouge. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus, your connection for the best selection of Ford Blue Advantage certified used vehicles.
Can you smell it? Buckeye football is in the air. You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your home for the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Welcome back in. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Matty, DeVier, Posey, Dane, Sanzenbacher. Going to bring on our guy right now. He sits on the Iron Throne at 10 TV. His name is Adam King, AK. Good morning. How you doing, big dog? How we feeling today?
Good morning. I'm getting used to these noon kickoffs. I had to break out the coat for the first time this year. It's a little chilly outside.
Yeah. So Adam, you've been at the Fan for at least 5 years? Ohio State plays at noon a lot. Come on, man. You're just getting used to it. Good morning. Wait, let's go. Let's go.
That's accurate. I think it's the 4 in a row noon games that have finally got me ready.
Yeah, and I think we got a few more coming at you, obviously, with the Michigan game. So, yeah, you better buckle up and lock in. You did a great job a few weeks ago, AK, painting the picture for us out in Eugene, and you talked about that atmosphere and how loud it was going into the Ducks' house. Take us inside Happy Valley and what that was like at high noon for a big-time game a week ago.
Well, I'll tell you this. They were really not happy about that noon game. I mean, they were livid. Every fan I talked to just wanted that game to be a night game. It was the largest crowd in the stadium's history. They had, I think it was like 111,000 or something close to that. I will say I thought Austin was louder, but when the Buckeyes threw the pick six, I think it was remarkable to see Ohio State handle that moment because that place was absolutely insane. I think it only further tells you the communication that's going on the sidelines and the ability for this team to turn the page because in that moment it did feel like the whole world was against them.
Yeah, Adam, what were the differences you saw? You were at both games. You were at Oregon and you went to Penn State to watch these guys. And obviously similar situations. They were tested, had to respond, tough environments. What were the noticeable differences, if there were any, between the two?
Well, I think one difference, it's interesting to call it a difference, is that they'd already been in that situation. I think the first time you're in the situation, you've got to kind of figure out what to do. The second time, they worked on it. They had a plan, and they found a way against Penn State. They found a way against Nebraska. That's been their mantra since they walked off the field at Oregon is, we're going to find a way. They want to leave no doubt. They had a couple opportunities to leave no doubt, and I felt like could have put that game away a couple times, obviously with the fumble, but instead it became a fourth quarter game that had 4th and goal. Remarkable, that goal line stand. And then to the thing that I think is the most impressive drive of the year, to just not give Penn State the ball back. I mean, it was on your own goal line. I don't think anybody would have faulted Ohio State if they had to have punted out of their own goal line because what you want to do is just not make a mistake. Instead, they decided to just run out the clock, which was impressive.
Absolutely. AK, man, wanted to ask you, man, I mean, we talked about this before this Penn State game, off record, that this could possibly be the most important game for this era of Ohio State football, for the administration, for the coaching staff, for the players, right, the guys that came back. And that embrace of Chip Kelly, the embrace of Ryan Day after the game, were you on the field? Were you near those guys when that happened? And just like, what was that like to see that raw emotion from those longtime friends, mentor, mentee, head coach, offensive coordinator now? What was that like?
Well, I'll give myself a little pat on the back. That's my video, DeVier.
Wow. Great content.
That moment between Ryan and Chip, it said it all. And then he ran around, hugging every single assistant coach. The energy, you could feel how important that game was. Ryan called it a crossroads after. He said we didn't want to talk about it. We didn't want but we knew we knew that, and everything was on the line there. I mean, if they lose that game Tuesday night, looking at the college football playoff, the question is Ohio State in the top 12? Instead, now we're sitting here, well, Ohio State's 2. If they beat Oregon, they'll be the overall 1 seed and get the bye. I mean, it was so much pressure to go into that game, and they handled it well, and they did what they had to do.
Adam King from 10 TV joining us here on The Fan. AK, I want to ask you about that offensive line. There was so much talk about that unit going into last week with just having to move pieces around and Donovan Jackson sliding out to left tackle. After what you saw on the road in Happy Valley, do you believe that they now have a unit up front that can help lead them to a championship?
1,000%. I think they figured it out, and sometimes that's what it takes. I mean, it reminds me, I don't know if you guys ever played Madden Ultimate Team, but sometimes you got to move the cards around, and the guy might not be as great at left tackle, but, you know, you'd rather have 5 suitable guys than 4 and a big problem. And so they moved the guys around. Carson Hinsman, that was a big moment for him, and you know, he had experience last year. To come back in and handle it like that was very impressive. Donovan Jackson, sorry, bub, you're a left tackle for the rest of the year. But that's you know, I think what the Buckeyes need, and I think Donovan Jackson is perfectly fine with that. He was very emotional after that win over Penn State, and he deserves it because he played absolutely remarkable to move positions like that.
Hey, Adam, what's the environment been like moving from a win like that, which definitely the biggest win of the year and a season changer, really, if that goes the other way, to now having to come down from that and rolling into a game where you're 38-point favorites? How has the team been addressing and handling that?
Well, I think the funniest part of this week, and I've said it a couple of times, is like, we wanted to talk to Ryan more about the Penn State win. We wanted to talk to the guys more about the Penn State win and kind of like what it means and the celebration and no, they don't want to talk about it anymore. That's in the past. They are fully on to Purdue. I don't think anybody in the press conference mentioned Purdue once. The only person was Ryan Dane. He brought it back 5 different times talking about how this Boilermakers team is better than their record, better than people think. So the fan base may have a little bit of, you know, they may have a little bit of a hangover here celebrating this Penn State win and what it means moving forward. But for the Buckeyes, they are squarely on to Purdue.
All right, AK, we'll get you out of here on this. Lay out the schedule for you today where the wonderful folks at Buckeye Nation can follow you around on socials and TV today.
All right. Well, my Twitter, Adam King 10 TV, and then coming up here in an hour and 20 minutes, go to flip it over to 10 TV for Game Time with Ryan Day, the official coaches. And then just keep it on 10 TV all day long. Don't take the batteries out of your remote. You'll catch us at 7:30 breaking down the game. And then we'll have wall-to-wall sports after the 11 o'clock news. Everything, a big post game of the Purdue game and covering the Buckeyes.
All right, AK, stay warm today, my man. You know we love you. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great.
There he goes, Adam King from 10 TV, the man that sits on the Iron Throne. When we come back, we will go behind enemy lines. Nathan Baird covers Purdue for the Indy Star. We caught up with him yesterday on Rothman and Ice. You will hear his breakdown of the Boilermakers next. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
If you're heading to Ohio Stadium right now, you have a really great drive ahead of you. No problems on the roadways accident-wise, light to moderate volumes. Just looked at the traffic cameras on 315 north and southbound between Ackerman and 670, and those stretches of highways are moving really nicely. If you just got off the highway and you're looking for parking, the Neal Avenue Garage has spaces available, as do the ARPS and Union North and South garages. With Game Day Traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota. With more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, anything's possible. Like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through December 2nd, get any new Highlander or Grand Highlander with 5.99 APR financing up to 72 months, including hybrid models, with $1,657 per thousand borrowed. Subject to approved credit through TFS. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
30% of D1 athletes report betting-related threats and harassment after games. This threatens the safety and mental health of students like Jade.
I'm a college athlete, and I'm more than a bet. When you threaten my life and my family because you lost money, it really scares me.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
You want a sub made the authentic Jersey way? You go to Jersey Mike's. You want a radio idea? You go to me. Like this. I'm a talking dog that only talks about Jersey Mike's. My owner says, "Hey, buddy." And I'm like, "Get me an authentic Jersey sub." He says, "That's all you ever think about." And I say, "No. I also think about teaching myself to drive the Jersey Mike's, but until I figure that out, you're all I have." Woof, woof. Made the authentic Jersey way since 1956. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Full inventory sale at Logan Services. Save up to $2,500 and 0% APR financing for 72 months on a qualifying train system. Plus, your choice of one air quality freebie. It's hard to stop a train with a system for every home and budget. Now, for a limited time, save up to $1,000 on a water heater and water conditioning combo. Ask us about tax credits when you book your free estimate now. Logan Services.
It's Sunday morning football on the Fan. Cakes and Eggs live from Munich, Germany, as the Giants battle the Panthers at 9.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Hear the game on ESPN Columbus 1460 AM and our HD2.
Now, in our last session, you said you were hearing noises.
Terrible noises.
Tell me more.
Same time every morning.
Can you describe them?
Well, it starts like yee and then turns into woo woo woo.
Indeed. And does it also come with a...
That's exactly what it is. How did you know, Doctor?
This is a symptom of not having an Apex Pros water heater.
Doctor, I know my husband, and he would never...
And the sound then goes yip yip woo woo woo. I'm writing you a prescription for an Apex Pros water heater.
You really think this will help?
Apex Pros, the pros who knows. First you doubt me, then you doubt the pros who knows.
I'm not doubting. I just didn't think my husband would make such
the unnecessary suffering of surprise cold water. I've seen it 1,000 times. Apex Pros even has tankless solutions that provide never-ending warm water.
Wow.
The crazy sounds will go away by tomorrow. Now here's my bill. Now about that sound.
It's Alex, the Apex Bear. We are the pros who knows, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Hi, I'm Laura De Leon, president of Key Bank in Central Ohio. At Key, we're all about helping our neighbors. As your bank, we understand that we have both the ability and the responsibility to help our neighbors thrive, whether they're trying to buy a car to take them to their new job, or tackle debt that feels unmanageable, or simply trying to do more with what they have. Key Bank is there to meet them in that moment. Key Bank opens doors.
All credit products are subject to credit approval. Key Bank, member FDIC.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited Truck Month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Saturday in Ohio. Birds are chirping. The sky is, blue, gray? I don't know. This is recorded in advance. But the most wonderful thing of all is Buckeye football. You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. The Fans behind enemy lines.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers. Visit your local Central Ohio Ford dealer today.
Behind enemy lines this week is going to be Nathan Baird. He covers Purdue for the Indy Star. We caught up with him on Rothman and Ice. And here is that interview for you now.
I take you back to a little bit earlier in the season. I mean, if they win that game against Illinois, the overtime game, who knows? Maybe it's just a highlight of their season. They get blasted by Notre Dame and Oregon this year, and now here comes Ohio State and Penn State. So the toughest question I can ask you, are they already thinking about basketball season in West Lafayette?
Oh, yeah. Their basketball season is in full swing now. We've got the second game of the season is on Friday, and a lot of people have, in their minds, moved on from football. And actually, I would take it back. Before that Illinois game, we thought that coming into this season, we thought they'd be more competitive with Notre Dame, obviously. The 66-7, the biggest margin of loss in Purdue football history. But we thought those next two games, at Oregon State and then home against Nebraska to start the Big Ten season, were going to be crucial. And in both of those games, they just simply could not muster enough offense to pose a threat. And when both of those games got away, that's where I think things really started to spiral, because then you're getting into the teeth of a schedule that everyone knew was going to be tough. Oregon, Ohio State, they still got Penn State. They didn't know how good Indiana was going to be at that time, but they still got Indiana coming. It just sort of lined up one after the other. And it has just very quickly gotten to a place where, before this season, they were voted last in every poll, like across the board, to finish 18th. And at the time, coming out of preseason camp, I thought that was maybe a bit much, that while this wasn't necessarily a team that was assured of getting to a bowl, I thought it could be more competitive, and they've lived down to expectations.
Let's talk about the quarterback spot right now for Purdue. I remember when Hudson Card announced that he was coming up to be a Boilermaker. There was a decent amount of excitement based off what he was as a recruit and where he came from. But where does that position stand? How has that looked for them the last few weeks?
Well, one of the things that they thought they were doing in the offseason was getting him some more weapons, and that has not really transpired. I would say that receiver, by and large, has been a pretty disappointing position, just not creating enough separation. And then on top of that, just an offense that wasn't able to get the ball out to guys in space and let them work. They've done it a little bit better in these last few weeks. They fired their offensive coordinator after 4 games, Graham Harrell, who people probably remember from Texas Tech, and had been at least semi-successful offensive coordinator at other places, but he only lasted 16 games with Ryan Walters here. And things are so bad that Ryan Walters, who's a former defensive coordinator, had never been even an offensive position coach, has taken over calling the offense this year. He is the offensive coordinator now because they had nobody else on staff to turn to with any experience to do that. And that has allowed them, it actually has gotten them a little bit of a spark. That's what was right before that Illinois game, led them to a game where they scored 43 points in regulation. But Hudson Card has not had a great season, and I don't know whether to say that the offense hasn't been good because he hasn't been better. I think it's probably more likely that he has been the victim of a lot of other circumstances, and they just don't have a lot of weapons, and this offense has really just always shot itself in the foot. The margin for error is very, very, very small. I'll give you an example. Last week against Northwestern, they had an idle week to prepare for that game. So 2 weeks to prepare for that game. They're playing at home. First play of the game, they finally get this guy, C.J. Smith, who's a transfer from Georgia. They've been waiting for him all season. They get him, one-on-one down the sideline for a deep ball. Hudson Card does everything he's supposed to do, hits him in stride in the hands, and he drops it. And they end up punting. And it's just any one mistake sets them back. It's an offense that has not scored a touchdown in the first quarter against an FBS opponent yet this season. They have been trailing at halftime in every game, and their big achievement the past 2 of the last 3 games was losing in overtime, but they were down 24-3 against Illinois. They were down 17-3 late in the first half against Northwestern. It's just an offense that can never get going fast and get out in front of somebody and make, let this offense which is really more of a run-based offense, and let this defense, which in theory is like a more attacking defense, give them the lead to do those things with, and instead they're just always playing from behind.
We are visiting with Nathan Baird, who is the Boilermaker beat writer for the Indy Star. As we preview, you're right, it's not the big game preview. It might be the big plays preview, because I think there will be a lot of them in this game. If I can lean to anything positive, I thought maybe the Boilermakers could kind of go back to the run game and lean on that. You got 2 backs that are averaging over 5 yards a carry. However, last week, Northwestern held them to 2 yards a carry rushing. So that's something they can't even lean on right now. But would you say that the rushing game has been dare I say, strength, but something that they thought they could rely on a little more.
Yeah, I mean, people may know the name Devin Mockabee. He's been there for a couple years. And then Reggie Love III is a guy that transferred in from Illinois before this year. That's the two running backs. They've had their moments. There have been games when those guys have seemed to play well, but often the passing game doesn't come along with it. There have been games where the running game will have some moments, and Mockabee especially is capable of some big plays, but they usually don't mesh that up then by being able to complement it with a passing game that gets them in the end zone, even gets them in the red zone. Sometimes just putting together any kind of a drive is a stretch. And this is a big game, I think, for this offensive line. I don't think this offensive line played well against Northwestern when there was a win to be had. And this is a game where they need to come in and match Ohio State physically. And I think sometimes what you will see is a game like this. You know, if I'm a coach at Purdue, I'm telling this team, you know, there's however many NFL draft picks just in the next draft on this roster, this Ohio State roster, let alone the ones that are going to be the next 3 years. Some of you who want to make your audition, this is a great opportunity to do it. Like, this should be your best game of the year. There's not going to be more eyeballs on you than there will be in this game. Maybe there's something that you can draw out of guys to try to get them to find something new in a game like this. But like I said, even if the offensive line plays well and the running game is there, they have not been able to dial up a passing game that goes along with it that would really threaten a team like Ohio State.
Nathan, as you know, offensively, Ohio State's loaded with weapons all over the place. Who are, maybe a guy or two on defense that's made some plays that Ohio State fans should be aware of on the defensive side for the Boilermakers?
So they've got a guy named Kydron Jenkins who plays mostly Mike linebacker. He was an edge rusher last year, along with Nick Scourton, who was on the edge last year and had a big year, but then they lost him to Texas A&M as a transfer. And then additionally, they moved Jenkins back to Mike linebacker because he's only like 6'1". He's not going to be an edge rusher in the NFL. That really is a better positional fit for him. And he had some growing pains there, but has been playing pretty well at Mike linebacker. The problem is they have to move him to edge rusher because they've had so much problems up front, or at least especially containing the edge this year against the run. Teams have just been shredding him there, and they've had to try to summon some kind of pass rush. So you'll see him move up to edge rusher a lot, but he's maybe the most prominent guy on this defense. People might know Dylan Thieneman, who had 6 or 7 interceptions last year as a true freshman, was a freshman All-American, has not replicated that success yet this year, but is a good player at strong safety. They moved him from free to strong this year. And then a third name I'll throw out is a guy named Will Helt, and he's at the other rush end spot. He's only a sophomore. He has had flashes where you see, okay, this guy might be a kind of upper echelon sort of Big Ten edge rusher at some point in his career. Whether they can do that consistently enough against a front and just an offensive system like Ohio State's, I think that remains to be seen.
Nathan, good stuff, my man. Thanks for breaking it down with us. Enjoy college football this weekend.
Of course, anytime.
There you go. There's your Behind Enemy Lines segment for this week. Behind Enemy Lines is sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers. Visit your local Central Ohio Ford dealer today. Coming up top of the hour, it is who's got the heat time. Somebody that's got to take their level of play to a higher level. We will discuss that. And also, you will hear from Will Howard, your starting quarterback for the Ohio State University. This is a Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan pregame show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Roadways are moving well right now. Northbound and southbound 315 between Ackerman Road and 670. No problems to report there. Moving with light to moderate volumes. Off of the highway and onto the surface streets, you're going to see some increasing volume, especially right around the Ohio Stadium. Woody Hayes is getting heavier, as is Lane Avenue between Neal and Olentangy River Road. Olentangy just picked up a little bit of volume between Ackerman and Kinnear. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota truck. Now through December 2nd, get 1.99 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a 24 Tacoma SR5 double cab for $279 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Nobody builds trucks better than Toyota. Let's go places.
Save big money on appliances now at Menards. You need reliable and energy-efficient appliances to conquer the day. Menards is your one-stop shop with the largest in-stock appliance selection, ready to take home today. Check out our top appliance brands, including KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and Criterion. Save big money on all appliances at Menards and check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all our great deals.
Save big money at Menards. Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. As we head into winter, you don't want to be stuck with old drafty windows making your heating system work overtime. Universal Windows Direct is here to help you keep your house warm and save you money on those energy bills. And here's the best part. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free, and there's no limit. On top of that, Universal Windows Direct is offering 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years. Restrictions apply because they always do. Call them today, 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
The Jackets head to Anaheim to battle the Ducks. Live fan coverage starts Sunday night at 7:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Your home for Blue Jackets hockey, the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hear those leaves crunching under your feet? Feel that cool nighttime air? It's definitely fall in Ohio. Fall is the perfect time to have the Waterworks inspect and tune up your furnace before the cold winter months hit. To inspect and protect your family against those wintertime furnace breakdowns, call 614-232-2222. Or visit thewaterworks.com today to schedule your fall furnace inspection and tune-up. Winter is just days away.
Meijer holiday deals are here. Shop now and find gifts for everyone on your list. Like a Gourmet 7 or 8 quart air fryer, just $59.99. Save $40. Buy one, get one 40% off on Barbie dolls and play sets. Buy one, get one 40% off board or card games. And Falls Creek or Colorful Planet kids sweaters for $12.99. Count on Meijer to help make the holidays extra special. Shop even more great holiday deals like these in-store or in the Meijer app. Exclusions apply.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
When the leaves fall, so do the prices at Valley. Right now, choose from over 1,000 available new Fords. Take your pick from over 70 2024 Ford Broncos at up to $14,000 off. Lease a new Escape Active, just $289 a month for 36 months. Drive away a new Bronco Sport, over 80 to choose from, starting at only $26,990. Get to Valley Ford of Columbus today, the official dealership of Carnell Tate.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells. We've got another great day of college football on tap as we enter the stretch run of the season. Let's set the table for today's slate. We know that it'll all get started with second-ranked Ohio State at home for a matchup against Purdue. The Buckeyes and Boilermakers will kick off at 12 noon today at Ohio Stadium. Also at noon today, number 4 Miami is at Georgia Tech, and Florida visits number 5 Texas. As we sort through the rest of the top 10 teams here, at 3:30, number 3 Georgia is at number 16 Ole Miss. Also, Michigan plays at number 8 Indiana. In the primetime window tonight, we've got Maryland at top-ranked Oregon. Mississippi State is at number 7 Tennessee. Florida State visits number 10 Notre Dame in South Bend, and Washington will face number 6 Penn State in Happy Valley. Lastly, at 10:15 tonight, it's the Holy Wars. Number 9 BYU is at Utah. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus, your connection for the best selection of Ford Broncos and Bronco sports. Breaking sports news when it happens right here on The Fan.
Howdy, you know it's Buckeye game day? No. Because I've ripped my shirt off in celebration. Do you like the Brutus tattoo on my chest? This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. As you prepare for another Buckeye football Saturday, one very important question remains. Who's got the heat?
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Let Logan Services bring the heat to your home this season. Free same-day estimates, next day installation. Logan Services.
All right, welcome back in, Matty, guys. Dane, Sanzenbacher, DeVier, Posey, getting you ready for Ohio State and Purdue. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Depot, I want you to lead us off this segment. Who you putting the heat on this week, my man?
I'm going all the way out to Colorado and the Buffaloes. I think it's big noon.
It is, man.
Yeah. I think I saw something about Matt Leinart talking about his first time in Lubbock, Texas. They're going against Texas Tech. They're 6-3. Colorado is 6-2. Now, regardless of what you think or feel about Deion and the Buffaloes, if they win the Big 12, they have an opportunity to be in the playoffs, right? Year
Absolutely.
2 as a head coach over there. So I'm putting the heat on those guys. I would love to see them get it done, but hey, that's a good Texas Tech team.
They got a great opportunity ahead of them. They need to be big fans of Utah today because Utah plays BYU. BYU currently number 1 in the Big 12. They're playing some good football. So if BYU gets clipped and then you handle your business, if you're Colorado, you could be looking at bringing home a Big 12 championship, which will put you right where you need to be. Man. So the conversation coming into this year was, can these dudes hold up in the trenches, right? The offensive line play, the physicality a year ago just wasn't good enough, and they seem to have that figured out. And they have a dude at quarterback. They got an ultimate weapon on both sides of the ball in Travis Hunter, and then that they have a good base of who they are now, and that just brings them more security this year.
You talk about the star power in the playoffs this year, like maybe an Ashton Genty or Boise, maybe Buffalo, Indiana, Ohio State, Miami. Like, the playoffs this year are about to be so crazy.
I was going to say, how great would that be just for the storyline? Like, the dream of the playoff is that you get, like, all of those top storylines that we've been talking about sneak in there. You get Boise, Colorado, Indiana, and then the Alabama, Tennessee, Ohio State. That's what you want to see. So, like, I hope Colorado kind of makes that run because, like, they're a star of college football. Just because they're polarizing, you want to see them. Like, if you could pick it, put them in the top 12. Let's see what happens.
Viewership would grow up.
I mean, you're talking about if they win the Big 12, they would get a bye and be a top 4 seed.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
And just think about the history of that program and how down that program has been for a while.
That's crazy.
Right? And they would win one of the Power 4 conferences and get themselves a bye and be waiting for whoever to come out on the other side. So, the tournament's going to be absolutely insane. So, for you, Dane, who you putting the heat on this week, man?
I'm putting the heat. It is heating up down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Hey.
We've got Alabama going to LSU. Number 11 Alabama going to number 14 LSU. Tiger Stadium at night. Notoriously tough place to play. And Alabama's season on the line, really. Both these teams have 2 losses. So whoever loses this one, I mean, it's it. You're starting to think about what bowl game you're going to or maybe where you're transferring next year. So, I mean, this is a huge game. And 7:30 p.m. kick. Not many stadiums present as well at night games on TV as Tiger Stadium. There's something about that, like the tiger, the purple and yellow. It's an awesome. I love watching it. That's one of those. That's on my bucket list of stadiums I want to go to. Yeah, I want to go.
You know how the kids. You know how the kids now say that the aura's the hot. That guy's got aura.
Yeah,
that stadium just has that aura. What you just painted the picture perfectly, Dane, because I was thinking, like, if I could pull the Kirk Herbstreit, hop on a private jet right after game day and go somewhere, like, that's where I want to be tonight. That's where I want to be. With both teams having just so much on the line and just so many good players on the field for both programs, man, that's going to be must-see TV. Real quick, though, you mentioned Matt Leinart. Something that made me feel old this week is Matt Leinart's son committed to SMU to play quarterback.
And he's a dude, too. He's like 6'4".
Yeah, he's supposed to be an absolute problem. So, congrats to Matt Leinart, man.
That's
good stuff. Yeah, we're getting old, eh? Like, that's where we're at. I'm putting the heat on a specific unit, and it's the Georgia Bulldogs defense.
We're getting specific here.
The Georgia Bulldogs defense, because they're going into Ole Miss's house. And what they're going to have to deal with is an offense that's absolutely electric and cooking right now. The Rebels have the second best total offense in the country. They're averaging over 550 yards per game. Fourth best scoring offense in the country. They've got 5 games this year, fellas, with 600-plus total yards in a season. That leads all of college football.
Just give us one 600 game today.
They absolutely are going to be a handful to deal with. Look, Georgia's looked fine to me this year. They haven't looked dominant outside of the game. They played against Texas where their defensive line looked like Jordan Davis and the Kobe Dean and all those guys came back for one game and they just dominated the Longhorns. But outside of that, you can, pick your spots with Georgia, depending on who you are. And I just think Ole Miss has the weaponry, but more importantly, the quarterback to do it. And Jackson Dart's got 24 total touchdowns this year and only 3 interceptions. So, yeah, they're going to have their hands full today.
Yeah, man. In terms of Georgia, I think they're mediocre. Not to say mediocre play, but it's just I think this is probably the worst year of Carson Beck's career.
There's no question about it.
Like, he's not playing at the level to where you would think, like, wow, this guy's going to go in the draft. And, I mean, I would go as far as to say is he might want to think about coming back another year.
To your point, Depot, over the last 3 games, and look, I get it, not all interceptions are created equal, right?
Yeah, there are some RCIs.
No question.
You know about RCI's name?
No.
Receiver calls interceptions.
I don't like that.
He's got.
I think we should own him.
That's true.
Yeah, put it on your. I think quarterbacks would appreciate that. He's got 8 interceptions.
Yeah, credit it to the receiver. Like I had a pick today.
He's got 8 interceptions over his last 3 games. Back-to-back games here the last 2 weeks with 3 interceptions apiece. So he's just, for whatever reason, not seeing it well. To your point, right 17 TDs, 11 interceptions on the year. So, yeah, it's for whatever reason, man. He's just not playing clean football.
He has 11 picks?
Yeah, 11 picks this year, man. It's not good, to say the least. One guy that's playing at a nice level is Will Howard, and let's hear from him. Let's go to the second one, fellas, when he's talking about using his legs to win games.
I feel like we talk about, in these matchup games, in these big games, especially on the road, like, my legs are going to become a big piece. And, when the game's on the line, when it comes down to it, like, that's when things happen. And if a guy gets out of his gap or undisciplined or whatever, then I'm going to pull the ball. And I feel like it just makes it so much harder to defend us as a team. And we're more able to do that in those clutch situations. And, we ran the ball 11 times. I don't think I carried the ball. I don't think I pulled the ball on any of those, kind of inside zone type plays until that last play. And, so you can't do it without having successful downhill run plays, but, it's being able to keep them honest every once in a while. And, me being willing and ready to use my legs, in those big moments is big.
There was a clip earlier in the season, fellas, where he talked about him essentially wanting the smoke when it comes to his rushing ability and seeking out contact and wanting the physicality. I think that's a great mindset for him to have. I don't know, Dane, if you want that all the time from your quarterback, putting his body on the line in those situations. You want him to get the yards, get down, and get out of bounds, whatever it may be. But he's right. I mean, when you talk about his ability to hurt a defense with his legs, it was something that was previewed in the offseason. Now we've got to see it unfold, and last week a nice amount of carries for him, and it's just something a defense has to account more, and the math can work in your favor.
Yeah, I think something he said was using his legs to keep them honest, to keep the defense honest. To me, I think that's the best version of Will Howard, is when I don't think that, like, designing runs for him, just because when I look at the offense, the amount of talent they have, there's one ball, one guy can carry it, and I can think of 4 other guys in the offense that I would rather have carry it. So I love that he has that in his wheelhouse, but I like it as a function of it's a threat. That it causes enough hesitation. They lean it to enough. He can use it when he has to scramble, but when he's talking about those read options, like, okay, it's enough that it holds the DN there. It's enough that it's a threat. I don't think you need to rely on him any more than that, because you have so many other weapons that can really break the big play.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, we're sitting there watching Thursday night football. The Ravens say, "Hey, we're going for 2." And I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, who are you going to get the ball to? I mean, you got Bateman, you got Zay Flowers. And not in my right mind did I even think, like, oh, Lamar's going to pull the zone read and walk in. And when you have a quarterback that can do that in the red zone or the goal line, it just gives you so many more options when you're down close to the goal line. And it's like it's the same thing with Will Howard. It's that's where he's most dangerous, using his legs when you have that extra option there. And also the thing I liked last week was it a fourth down or was it a third down where he kept one and ran for it and slid, and that was the game, right? And it was just like such a huge advantage when Will Howard can run and Kyle McCord couldn't. Just saying. It's true. You just got to say it.
Coming up next, we'll hit the finish line of the show with East to West. We'll lay out the Big Ten schedule for this Saturday and hit you with our final thoughts on Ohio State and Purdue. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Your roadways are looking good right now, just picking up a little bit more volume as we get closer to kickoff. 315 northbound from 670 to King Avenue has just a few more brake lights right now. And 315 south between Ackerman and Lane Avenue, you're going to see a few more friends, especially in that right lane, trying to get off onto the Lane Avenue exit ramp. And closer to the stadium, don't forget the Cannon Drive construction project continues. You need a West Stadium parking pass to get onto Cannon. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited Truck Month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Taking out the trash. That's what we're all about at Bourne Brothers Waste Services. This is Justin Bourne,
Zach Bourne, and Jacoby Bourne, former Ohio State football players.
We are your company for all of your trash and recycling needs.
Providing services that include front-load containers, mini and large roll-offs, and compactors. Contact us today for the best service in town. Bourne Brothers.
Bourne Brothers,
the real local trash company.
Taking out the trash.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Rothman and Ice.
Devontae Adams is now back with his guy. What would this be equated to? A prediction that it's going to be cold in Ohio this winter?
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, But along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The OSU Army ROTC has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices like America's best-selling car, Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through December 2nd, you can lease a Camry LE from just $269 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. Look for a cool start as we head into your Saturday. Temperatures begin the day in the upper 30s, but we'll warm to around low 60s by the afternoon. Cloud cover increases throughout the afternoon before we see rain come in by Sunday. Showers expected all day long Sunday, so don't expect to get much outdoor activity in. As your latest 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
It's game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Chevy.
Up early, stay late. Don't change the channel. You're home for the Buckeyes. The Fan. You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Getting you ready for another Buckeye victory. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. It's The Fan's East to West.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Let me lay out the Big Ten schedule for you. Let's go back to last night because out on the left coast, UCLA clips Iowa. Final score of that one was 20-17. High noon right here at the Shoe, as you all know. We will have Purdue taking on Ohio State. In the noon window as well will be Minnesota taking on Rutgers. Then you get to 3:30. Only one 3:30 game on the Big Ten schedule this week, and it is Michigan going into Indiana's house. 8th-ranked Indiana, Dane, in case you forgot. Just wanted to remind you of that. 7 o'clock kick, you'll get Maryland taking on Oregon, and then Washington is the nightcap. They will take on Penn State over in Happy Valley. 8 o'clock kick, that game is on Peacock. So honestly, it's a pretty light schedule around the Big Ten this week. Michigan, Indiana is the game I think that'll get some attention.
It's light, but I think it lines up perfect if you're a Big Ten fan, or especially Ohio State fan. You're going, your noon game is obviously this one. Mm-hmm. Then you're going to get that 3:30 Michigan, Indiana, which is a big game for us because Indiana's got a bye after this.
Yep.
This is the last game they'll play. So it's big for Indiana, but for Ohio State, okay, so we got Purdue, we got Northwestern. There's a difference, and the coaches won't say it, but psychologically between an undefeated Indiana team coming in here and a one-loss Indiana team that lost to Michigan, who you don't think is very, very good. That's going to change the mindset of how you approach Indiana coming into this game. So, I think that 3:30 game is a huge one for both teams. And then I like seeing this evening Washington going to Penn State, because it's hard to bounce back from those big games if you're Penn State. Now, Washington's kind of underperformed, but you don't want to sleep on them. So I'm interested to see how Penn State responds this evening.
Yeah. I love your point about Indiana. Indiana is the only Big Ten program in the history of this conference that does not have a 10-win season under their belt. Clock hits 000 today. And this will be the first 10-win season in the history of that program. Every other program's done it.
Yeah.
Every other program's done it. So a lot on their plate. But your point about the mental aspect of what that looks like for Ohio State.
Well, it's a big part because there's so many questions, too. With how the Big Ten is shaken out, we're at this point in the season, and there's been questions on Penn State. How good is Penn State really? Mm-hmm. It's just like Ohio State, where do we match up? We only have a couple games that are competitive. Indiana, who have they played? It's just like there's only so many chances you get to prove yourself.
Yeah.
So, it's really, at this point, interesting where they're at, and that game matters so much into, who are you really? If you lose to Michigan, how does that feel coming in to Ohio State? There's a lot of psychological stuff here.
No doubt. Absolutely. I'm with you.
I want to ask you guys real quick, getting back to Ohio State, and just I mean, Vegas is saying that they're almost 40-point favorites in this one. I mean, you guys are well aware as players of what you should and shouldn't be able to do against an opponent, right? When a Purdue comes in, like, we should handle these guys. But talk about the mental challenge on a day like today when you go from the Penn State game, tough environment, had to grind it out to get a win, to now coming back home and dealing with a team like Purdue that just has not been a very good football team. Just talk about how the ramp up to a game like this and maybe the challenges there from a player's perspective.
Yeah, I think for this Ohio State team, I think when you look at our schedule, nestled in is an opportunity for 2 weeks to hit on all cylinder before everything counts. Like this week with Purdue and Northwestern, you had 2 big outings with Oregon and Penn State, right? And we got through those 1-1. But this opportunity before Indiana, Michigan, Big Ten championship playoffs, you got an opportunity to hit on all cylinders. And what gives me confidence in that 44-point spread is you look at Purdue's schedule, I think it's 66, 38, 45, 58, 55 or something like that. The points that have been scored on this Boilermakers defense this year in terms of like the 5 high scores that I saw, this to me is an opportunity for Ohio State to play their best game of the year. Here's why. The last time that offense left that field, the last time that defense left that defense left that field on a goal line stand. That offense left that field executing a 4-minute offense. Those things translate into the next week. When you have an opportunity to say, hey, let's go play our best football game before all of this is for all the marbles, Indiana, Michigan, Big Ten championship. Let's do it. So what I want to see today is the best football game that this team has played all year.
It's good stuff. Dane, we got about a minute. What are you looking for this afternoon?
I think you want to see him build on what last week was. I think you want to see the O-line to continue to leave no questions. I just think you don't want to think of it as get in, get out. As quickly as you can, get your starters out of the game, rest them, because that's a bad mindset.
It is.
And I don't think they'll go in that way, but you just want to see the execution being as good as it can be, and like DeVier said, using these next 2 weeks to propel you forward for the rest of the year.
Yeah, man, we're getting down to it. I can't believe we're at this point of the season. The Big Ten schedule has absolutely flown by, and you guys just got done talking about it. I mean, you got a couple games in front of you that you should be able to handle business, and then we're talking about a potentially very eventful game against Indiana, and then they'll be looking for revenge against that team up north, right, after 3 years in a row and the game not going how they wanted it to go. Fellas, we've hit the finish line of another pregame show. You know I love you. Buckeye Nation loves you. Buckeye Nation, we love you. We will be back next week to get you ready for Ohio State and Northwestern. We're going to hand this thing over now to my man Anthony Rothman, Andy Katzenmoyer, and Tim May. This has been the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
We're starting to see some volumes pick up on 315 on the northbound side. It's just a little bit more crowded between the King Avenue Medical Center exit and Lane Avenue. On the southbound side, you'll see a few more friends on the highway from Ackerman Road to Lane Avenue. Side streets are also seeing a little bit more action. The Olentangy River Road stretch between Ackerman and Kinnear, and North High Street between Lane and 11th. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.